Survival games are one of the many genres of games that people enjoy playing because of the sole amount of adventuring, scavenging, looting, discovering. You get the idea. Nevertheless, there are tons of survival-based open-world crafting games out there to choose from if you're into that style of gaming. Or maybe you're just getting tired of the competitive scene or like the single-player story-based games and you just want to change the pace and environment. Of course, now I can go on and on and on about the tons of games that are out there like 7 Days to Die, Rust, Raft, Ark, so on and so forth. You get the idea. But if you're into survival games, that you've probably been there, done that with titles such as those, so maybe you're just kind of wanting a change. Well, today I'm here to just bring you my top 5 underrated survival-based games that you can go pick on the Steam store. Won't absolutely break the bank, but still offer a really good time, really good experience, and hours of gameplay. Now, these games are in no particular order of favorites. They're just what I consider to be somewhat what you call the hidden gems. You may have or may not heard of these titles, but if you have but didn't really look into it, well, stick around and see what some of these games have to offer. So, without any more delay, let's just get right into the meat of it. If you enjoy the video, remember to drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below some of your favorite survival games. Or if you decide to check out these, let me know how you like them, or if you didn't, and why. So, alright, let's get into it. First one on the list is Surrounded. Surrounded? Anyway, Surrounded is an open-world survival game taking place in a world ravaged by an apocalyptic catastrophe. The dead reign free and will stop at nothing to kill you. In this game, you start by creating a character and customizing the appearance and selecting what your occupation was before the outbreak. Once you load into the game, you're going to start with some essentials and a knife to get started. From there, you're going to be discovering tons of towns, markets, military bases, outposts, camps, and more that you can go and scavenge for supplies, weapons, weapon mods, ammo, and more. Be aware that the map is crawling with various types of infected zombies throughout the land. You'll also find human NPC survivors, good and bad, good being ones that you can trade items or buy items with, money that you find throughout your findings, and bad ones being raiders that basically are out for everyone who isn't a part of their group, and they'll attack you if you're seen. Most of these do carry some good resources and loot on them if you can defeat them. You can also gather materials to also build your own base, or fortify a building that you stumble upon during your adventure and make it into your home as well. Like 7 Days to Die, the game's difficulty and mechanics can be customized and adjusted to your liking based on your preferences in difficulty and loot abundance. Now, I will say, this is a single-player survival game solely. It doesn't offer any online multiplayer support yet. However, the team does have plans to release online multiplayer support with player-ran servers in the future, along with a quest and bounty system, vehicle customization, farming system, and more maps. All around, great game. I've actually put a lot of hours into this game. It actually has a lot to offer. It does get exciting when you start finding like the rare weapons and attachments along with key cards to get access to certain buildings that offer generous rewarding loot inside. You can check out more about this game and purchase it on Steam for $11.99. Highly recommend you check it out. And yeah, let's move on to the next one. Next on the list is Stranded Deep. On Stranded Deep, you will take the role of a plane crash survivor stranded somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. Come face to face with some of the most life-threatening scenarios that will result in a different experience each time you play. In the aftermath of a mysterious plane crash, you're stranded in a vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, alone, without any means to call for help. You gotta do what you gotta do to survive. Explore underwater and on land as you hunt for supplies to craft the tools, weapons, and shelter you'll need to stay alive. Stay sharp though, because hunger, thirst, and exposure conspire against you as your brave, treacherous elements and the dangerous creatures of the Pacific. This game can be absolutely fun, but also very unforgiving at times if you don't stay prepared. You will start near an island, and as you get established, you can take the raft from the plane and paddle to other islands to gather more resources and find a variety of loot and materials that you can bring back with you to further add to your island. Speaking of your island, get creative and gather the materials to build a custom shelter and personalize it to your liking. There's a ton to explore and also a ton of ways to get creative in this game. Speaking of creative, You can go to the island editor from the main menu and create your own custom island and add it to your survival world. This game on release didn't support online multiplayer, but a few years ago the team finally did put out support for it, so now you can invite your friends to add to the experience. Really fun game, a lot to it, a lot of stuff that you can really get into. Definitely put some time into this game, and if you do want to check it out, you can find it on Steam for $19.99. And with that being said, let's move on to the next one. So next up we have Enshrouded. Enshrouded, you're a Flameborn, the last ember of hope of a dying race. Survive the terror of a corrupting fog and reclaim the lost beauty of your kingdom. Venture into a vast world, vanquish punishing bosses, build grand halls, and forge your path in this co-op survival action RPG. Enshrouded is a game of survival, crafting, and action RPG combat. You start with nothing but the will to survive the wilds. You must scrape and scavenge through the ruined remnants of a lost kingdom, create epic builds, and bring life back to the land. Voxel-based building unleashes your creative vision, allowing you to create grand architecture on an epic scale, customized with a vast assortment of materials and furniture. Build not only for yourself, because NPCs will take refuge within your walls, unlocking advanced workshops and the ability to craft epic weapons and armor. The game has a huge map, tons of bosses, challenging enemies, beautiful scenery, but also some very eerie and dark scenery that's been corrupted by the Shroud. One game I've had a lot of fun with and not a lot of people know about, so check it out. You can find Enshrouded on Steam as well for $29.99, a little bit more pricey than the first two, but for all good and valid reasons. Next up, we have Long Dark, a thoughtful exploration survival experience that challenges solo players to think for themselves as they explore an expansive frozen wilderness in the aftermath of a geomagnetic disaster. There are no zombies or enemy NPCs in this game, only you, the cold, and all threats Mother Nature can muster. The Long Dark offers both a story-driven open-world survival mode called Winter Mute and a standard survival mode for those just wanting that solo adventuring experience, with your only objective being to explore, scavenge, and survive the winter apocalypse. This game challenges you to think for yourself like it's stated above. The game will provide you with the information to survive but will not give you the answers by any means, but realistic aspects indeed, with examples like health afflictions, headaches, sprained ankles, hypothermia, dehydration, etc. All these will hinder your adventure and force you to find medicines, plants to make herbal teas, seek shelter, and so on. This game can be very unforgiving as well if you don't play your cards right. Always have a plan. Things can take a turn in this harsh environment. Of course, you can choose your experience by selecting the different difficulty settings before loading into a new save. If you choose to check out the Wintermute storyline, you'll be greeted with the first 4 episodes that provide roughly 30 hours of gameplay. Before purchasing though, take note that the Long Dark standalone provides just the survival mode. However, if you want the storyline experience, you can purchase the Wintermute DLC later, or purchase the bundle to have access to both modes upon initially starting the game. You can purchase the Long Dark Survival Edition standalone for $19.99, or if you want that story-driven mode as well, you can purchase the Long Dark Wintermute and Survival Mode Edition for $34.99. Definitely worth checking out. I highly suggest getting the edition that offers a storyline because it gives you that objective to follow rather than getting just burned out on survival mode. This is available on Steam and it is also available on the Microsoft Store. Lastly, but most certainly not least, we have Sunken Land. Sunken Land is a water world themed survival game with modular base building, sunken city scavenging, crafting, based events, and also invasions of a variety of NPC clans trying to take over your base for resources and territory. You had a winter apocalypse from the Long Dark. Well, what about a water apocalypse? Sunken Land is an exciting post-apocalyptic survival and exploration game set in the near future when water covered most of the earth. Explore sunken cities, scavenge resources and valuable technologies, build your base, trade, fight, and survive. Now, given the entirety of the map is mostly a huge body of water, there are some islands, floating bases, outposts, and most certainly underwater cities to discover. While most above water bases are occupied by different enemy NPCs, underwater locations are usually untouched by the enemy NPC clans and can be scavenged with the only threat of drowning and sharks. So, watch out for the sharks. You can build bases, crafting from resources you collect and unlocking new items, furniture, crafting appliances, and more by using the research table that you can craft shortly after gaining the resources to build one. Like for say, if you want a base in the middle of the ocean, go for it. You want to build one on land? Absolutely. Or to make it more interesting, clear out enemy territories and put down a marking pole to claim that land and build your base there. The limits are endless when it comes to being creative and personalizing your base and setting up tons of defenses and more. Beware, because there is a raid frequency and it can come at random. NPC clans will raid your base to take control of your area and take your resources. So prepare well, set up proper defenses, as your base can be raided while you're away as well. You can also craft vehicles like a sailboat, jet ski, military speedboat, a helicopter. Just some examples that you can craft any of these vehicles to get to places quickly. You can also use them to plan raids on enemy territory, and you can also use them to increase your inventory and your storage by stocking the vehicle's storage to haul even more resources back to your base. While scavenging, you'll come across valuables and really expensive loot that you can sell to the trading outpost, and you can trade for things that you're in need of but you haven't really found while scavenging. This game is fairly new and the devs are pushing out updates and informing the community frequently. This game is kind of like 7 Days meets Rust, but with the NPCs being the ones to raid your bases and fight for territory. This game does offer online multiplayer as well, so you can play with your friends, and they just introduced dedicated servers in a past update that came out recently. I absolutely love this game. It is a fun time alone, but it's definitely a lot more fun, especially with a group of people. If you are interested in Sunken Land, you can find it on Steam at a measly $19.99, and it is worth every dime. And that is my top 5 survival-based games that I consider to be some hidden gems. I say that just because there are some that you don't see front and center in the store, but are well worth the money. Some of these I find to be more fun than some of the more well-known survival games like 7 Days to Die or Survival, etc. But nevertheless, every game is enjoyed by different people. I do highly recommend giving some of these games a look in the store and trying them out. You can always request refunds if you find that they aren't for you. But I feel like these can scratch some itches that you may have when it comes to finding a new survival game to dive into. But that's it from me, you guys. So again, if you enjoyed, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, and let me know in the comments if you've played any of these or any other survival games like these, any other hidden gems that you play, that you enjoy, that you love, and put them in the comments below and let me know so that I can grow my library as well. Till next time, guys, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.